Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, November 10th, 2022. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Again, the only trends channel of real trends in the entire world, because you have to remember that the trend is your friend, and we're your friend. So, what's the big news in America? Well, you look at the cover of our Trends Journal that went out on Tuesday. It's a weekly, of course. Yep. Vote for the loser you hate the least. The war machine always wins. And of course, that cover went out before the elections, and that's what you voted for. You voted for a loser. Who'd you like? Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck? It's a freak show right in front of your eyes. And the freaks won again. All the governors that locked down their states, that destroyed the lives and livelihoods of tens and tens and tens of millions of people in America, or is it Dumbfuckistan, the home of the dumbfucks, voted for the slime balls that destroyed their lives. And again, it's a crime syndicate. So no matter who you vote for, you lose. I guess you're going to vote for Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck, because that's what you got, a clown. Worthless clowns. So you're still in high school. And these are the people that wanted to be class president and head of the student council in high school and college. And again, I was in the system, so I know. I was the assistant to the secretary of the New York State Senate, 26 years old. Worked on major political campaigns in Westchester County, Yonkers, New York. Angelo Martinelli became the longest running mayor, on and on. I've been in the system. It's a freak show, and the freaks are running the show. So anyway, so yesterday the markets went down because, what's going to happen? Who's going to win? Blah, 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 blah. That makes no difference. Again, it's the same shitheads, different color. No, if only women were in charge. Oh, a lot of women won too. Oh, they're great. Yeah. Again, race, creed, color, save it. I could give a fuck. I want the best, smartest, most concerned, passionate people working for me. I could give a shit their race, creed, or color. Anyway, so today on the news of the inflation numbers, the Dow jumped almost 1,200 points. The biggest one-day gain since stocks emerged from the death of the pandemic bear market. And again, it's not the pandemic bear market. That's the way CNBC calls it. It's the fucking lockdowns. How many people do you know that died of the COVID? Oh, I got a friend of a friend. Oh, yeah, somebody had cancer, whatever. Oh, they died. If this was a real pandemic, we'd all know 10, 15 people that died. Anyway, but they're blaming it on the pandemic rather than the politicians. And again, the people voted for the same shitheads that destroyed their businesses. It's dead up here where I am up in Kingston. Dead at night. Woodstock, on the Woodstock Saturday night, 10 o'clock, the town was dead. No nightlife. Yeah, a couple of gin mills are open. That's what they are. Not classy joints. It's dead. The streets are dead. The damage that is done with the COVID war is incalculable. And by the way, there are the positives too. In some senses, there are a lot of entrepreneur opportunities. And one of them is Interactive View. Again, it's in your Trends Journal, plus other entrepreneur opportunities. So anyway, the S&P jumped 5.53%, and that's the biggest rally since April 2020. That's when they started shoveling all the fake money and lowering interest rates near zero. And the NASDAQ surged 7.35%. Again, the total reversal. Go back, again, we wrote about it this week. The last 40 midterm elections, following them, the S&P 500 has gone up on average 15%. So it looks like it's on that path. Again, there are others that say there could be a bear market, and we do too, because it's bigger than the United States. And what's going on in Europe, as we detail, and they don't detail in America, in the Trends Journal, it's serious. You're looking at, gas prices like in Rome have gone up 90% year to date. and one after another. So anyway, we'll get to that later. So the interest rates are what's really what's driving this now. And as we said, we believe that they're going to lower interest rates 50 basis points. In other words, lower them from 75 basis points coming forward. But it's a toss-up. So the markets think that the Fed, 85% of the people on the markets believe the Fed's going to raise interest rates only 50 basis points. But Fed officials welcome inflation news, but still see tighter policy ahead. 1 month of data does not a victory make, and I think it's really important to be thoughtful that this is just one piece of positive information, but we're looking at the whole set of information. San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly said during a Q&A at the European Economics and Financial Center today. And then this Kansas City Fed said that even with lower monthly gain, inflation is still uncomfortably close. And here's my favorite. The CMA, this guy Mester, said, despite the moves we have made so far, given that inflation has consistently proven to be more persistent than expected. Wait a minute. This is these are voting members of this guy. Mester is a voting member in the Federal Open Market Committee. More persistent than expected? No, not more persistent than expected. Either you were too fucking stupid to see it going up because the Fed said it was only temporary and transitory, and of course now transgendatory in the woke, stupid world of the dumbfuckistan. So that's the bullshit they throw out there. So no, not than expected, than they expected, because we had forecast rising inflation for nearly 2 years, and so have a number of others. So, well, that's what you got on the market front. Guangzhou, however you pronounce it, extends lockdowns. And this is about the Chinese manufacturing hub of Guangzhou, locked down more of the city as the country struggles to constrain the worst country. Blah, 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 blah. Again, this is serious what's going on over there because it's hitting China hard. And again, we have the numbers. I believe less than, according to the numbers that have been published by Worldometer, China's a country of what? 1.4 billion people. Less than 6,000 people died of the virus since China launched it on Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the rat, in January 2020. So why are they locking down everything? Again, it's government control. Chinese factories close amid drop in orders. This is a story out of Financial Times about all the factories that are closing down. Yep, it's supposed to be a busy time, one of these guys say, but in the last 2 months, it was the worst. Nobody dares buy anything. Nobody dares buy a sofa. Nobody in Europe has any money left. You got it? Nobody in Europe has any money left. They don't talk about this. This is very serious what's going on in Europe. So the markets are much bigger than America. Everybody's crying about the same thing. Orders are dropping 30 to 50% in certain industries, many people closing their factories. So the zero COVID policy basically equals zero business. Hong Kong Stock Exchange hit hard. Hong Kong stock market has performed badly this year, but its stock exchange operator has done even worse. The shares of Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing Limited are down 43% since the start of the year. So this is serious what's going on. You have to take a globalnomic view and get your mind out of America, because Americans think this is the whole world. They don't have a clue what's going on. Producer prices decline in China. Yep. Again, we've been saying this. Taken together, the weakness of the world's second largest economy points to a global economy that is losing steam as central banks raise interest rates. ECB to reset dovish pivot on rate rises despite risk of weaker growth. So the ECB is saying that they're going to continue to raise interest rates. Right now, oh, by the way, you're seeing the mortgage rates going down. I think they're like at 6.6 something now, from over 7%. And John Williams' shadow stats is showing that the real inflation number isn't what came out today, but double that. It's not the 7.2, I think it was, but he's saying it's almost 16%. And they rigged the numbers, by the way. So that's the other fact, that 7.7 annual rate is what we have. So even at 7.7 annual rate, and when you're looking at the real numbers, you're looking at 40-year highs. So they're making inflation look like it's going down, and it is, but it's still very high. So going back to the ECB, what are they going to do? The Eurozone inflation is at 10.7%. And they just started raising interest rates in negative territory, minus 50 basis points, and jacked it up only, 150 basis points since. So when you look at inflation and you look at the interest rates are negative deeply. So they say they're going to keep raising them. But again, we're going to write about it in detail in your Trends Journal, because the facts that are happening in Europe and what this means globally in China is really important. And all you're getting is American news. Top office developers pause on new projects. This is from Wall Street Journal. When did we say this was going to happen? When the COVID war began and people started working from home. This is real. People are not going to be going back to work like they used to. It's part of the new abnormal or new normal. I mean, here we are, we're doing a broadcast over the internet. This was unheard of, a decade ago, 2 decades ago. So people working at home, and you don't need all that office space. You're saving money as the economy's going down. So again, office use only about half of what it was before the pandemic. Some of the most active developers are postponing major projects. We forecast this was going to happen. You're going to see a real estate market crash in the office sector, commercial office sector, the likes of which you've never seen. And again, this, by the way, is the total. Bullshit. With office use only about half of what it was before the pandemic. Not before the pandemic. Not before the pandemic, you fucking journalists. You're not a journalist. You're a fucking prostitute. It's not before the pandemic. It's because these politicians decided to lock down everything, like the Chinese way. And people swallow the shit. They're shit swallowers. All you have to do is look at the midterm elections in America, and you can see how the people swallow shit. Oh, this is the great democracy, by the way, that's bringing freedom and democracy all over the world as you attack some 50 countries since the end of World War II. We only have 2 fucking parties, and the money has to come from the rich people to run. Oh, but we're a democracy. Grow the fuck up. Anyway, what do we have here? Yeah, this is the kind of propaganda. Thanksgiving not that. Yeah, Walgreens affiliate. We'll do that one in the Trends Journal. Walgreens affiliate, a $9 billion deal for medical care provider. Again, the bigs keep getting bigger, but merger and acquisition activity is way down. But they're buying up. And as the deeper the economy goes, the more they're going to buy. The bigs own everything. Walgreens, I remember Robin's drugstore when I lived in Yonkers. There were drugstores all over. Every neighborhood had their drugstore. There was one Walgreens. That was in the Cross County Shopping Center. And now they own everything. CVS's, the Walgreens. Is America? It's a fascist communist state. Fascism, according to Mussolini, is the merger of state and corporate powers. They give these corporations all these deals, these tax breaks, and on and on and on, and do away with the regulations that prohibited this. By the way, please tune in to yesterday's Salenti and the Judge. It's one of the most phenomenal ones we've done. What Judge Napolitano has just written really puts this everything into perspective about the elections and how this country has been so destroyed. Salenti and the Judge, please watch it and pass the word. Spread the word. Yeah, this is stupid. It could be cheaper to dine out on Thanksgiving this year as CPI food and home prices soar. No, it can't be cheaper to go out and eat. If you go to a good restaurant, it costs a fucking fortune. A lot of dough. I go out with a friend, take a lady out. It's like every time it's like $140, $160 if I go to a nice place. Oh, you mean it's cheaper if you go to McDonald's or maybe Burger King? I like Popeye. I think I'll go to Chipotle. All right. Anyway, let's say the cost of dining out just rose 8.6%. Yeah, 8.6%. How much did the wages go up? But anyway, they're comparing apples and oranges here. Per pound, prices of turkey, the holiday's biggest staple, are up 17% year over year. Turkey is forecast to be 23% higher in the fourth quarter. Eggs up 43%. Butter up nearly 34%. Flour up 25%. So they're coming out with these inflation numbers, but they're, again, for the average person, and again, the numbers are there. 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, on to some geopolitics. Israel hits convoy said to carry arms. A tiny little story buried. Israel carried out airstrikes in eastern Syria targeting a convoy of vehicles suspected of smuggling Iranian weapons after it crossed the border from Iraq. What the fuck? Whose business is it? It's not Israel's business what they bring into Syria. Could you imagine if the Syrians did this to Israel with weapons coming in from the United States? Oh, that's okay. Why, you anti-Semite, Salenti? Be a coward like everybody else and swallow the shit. What the fuck you doing? Oh, we send over $3 billion of our money to Israel, which Tel Aviv is the most expensive city just about in the world to live in, so they could do this. And then they go on. They killed about 10 people. Oh, that's all right. Hey, they're Iranians, they're Syrians. Who gives a fuck? Good thing they're not Ukrainians. Iraqi officials said tanker convoy was carrying a illegal shipment of fuel that Iran had sent to Lebanon. Spokesman for the Israeli military declined to comment. Then they go on to say, Israel has waged a long-running campaign of aerial bombardments against what its military calls Iranian targets in Syria, conducting hundreds of airstrikes aimed at interrupting Tehran's smuggling of weapons to the Lebanese militants. Oh, militant. You're a militant. Hezbollah is a militant because they fought to get Israel out of Lebanon, which they invaded and occupied. You're a militant when you try to get out the invaders, like those Iraqi militants that were killing Americans. And they're still doing the same shit. You're militant when you're trying to get out the invaders from other countries. That's the propaganda. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. We give you the facts. We're true journalists. We give you our analysis. We give you the facts and what they're saying, and then we give you our trend forecast and analysis. And the analysis of this is, watch out for more war heating up in the Middle East. Inflation strikes disrupt trains, flights in Greece and Belgium. Again, your Trends Journal this week, we have a whole list. These are the ones that just happened of all the strikes going on. Again, people have no idea. And what this means with different political movements, populist movements, anti-establishment movements, anti-immigration movements. But not in America. They vote for the same clowns, no third party, nobody new gets in, just the Democrats and the Repulsivekins. Smartphones are reservoirs of allergies and other toxins, study warns. They show how sick you get with these things. But again, we've been writing about this for decades. According to the University of California, Berkeley, if you hold a cell phone to your ear for 17 minutes a day for 10 years, your chances of getting a brain tumor only increase by 60%. I don't carry a cell phone. Probably one of the only people around. I have a flip phone that I take with me when I got to go anywhere, and I hardly know how to use it. Smartphones show elevated and variable levels of BDG and endotoxin. And cat and dog allergens were found on smartphones. Stupid phones, smartphones. Dumb phones. Now here's John Williams' shadow stats. He goes, headline CPIU year-to-year inflation eased to 7.75 in October 22 from 8.20 in September. With the shadow stats alternative CPI easing to 15.9% from October from 16.4%. Although the near-term peak in the post-pandemic cycle, again, it's not a pandemic, those current year-to-year inflation rates otherwise remain at respective 42-year and 75-year highs. He goes on a lot of detail here. So, you saw gold prices spike. And gold prices are spiking because they're saying that they're not going to raise inflation higher. And again, I don't give financial advice. To me, gold is still the number one safe haven asset because this thing is really going to rock terribly over in Europe. And you're going to start seeing the Ukraine war escalate. They're talking about, Russian troops are retreating from this area. Yep, they still control over 20% of the place. Winter's coming, and they're hardly talking about almost 50% of Ukrainian energy is gone. So this thing's going to start heating up as winter starts getting colder. So check out your new Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com. We're giving you everything we can at a price that you can't beat. 30-day money-back guaranteed. If you don't like it, you get your money back. Guaranteed you'll like it. Guaranteed, if you don't like it, you get your money back in 30 days. So you can read it for 4 weeks, free. And the more subscribers we have, the more we can do to bring life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness back to earth, which they stole it from us. And again, please remember to watch Salenti and the Judge. It's a great one. Judge Napolitano, Andrew Napolitano, what he says and what he wrote, spot on. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. From COVID war to Ukraine war to world war. Are you prepared for what's next? These are unprecedented times. What's next? What's going to happen? Read the Trends Journal. We have an unsurpassed track record of forecasting history before it happens. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.